Alright, Conquerors, I've got what I think is going to be a pretty interesting and intriguing video for you here today on how to catch a map hacker. And the thing we want to focus on, I'm going to refer to players as red and pink here, is that I'm not focused on who might have won the game because the game's pretty one-sided, okay? Red loses this game, pink wins. But we think pink's a map hacker in this game, and I want to prove a couple of points why, after reviewing this replay, that I think pink is a map hacker. So there's several things I would say people mistake for map hacking. So, and it's not map hacking. So one is they just didn't notice that a scout saw them. Or they've been seen on the resources previously. And if someone's seen you on the resources previously, they don't need to really scout it necessarily to just send another knight back in, right? They know you're there. That's not map hacking. The other one, which there's actually two that I do a lot, is you've scouted the entire map, and you know that at some point your opponent's going to move these other resources. So you just send units there every once in a while, right? Scout or no scout. Hopefully you pick up a couple villager kills. Some people will mistake that for map hacking. Some people will mistake shift-clicking your scout in the dark, in the fog of war for map hacking. That's not necessarily map hacking. Some people will mistake, when you go, and we'll see a little bit of an example of this in this game. When you're killing deer on the map, people can see it. So they'll know if you're like doing pro scouts to get the deer, if your villagers killing the deer because the deer die on the map in the fog of war. So that's not map hacking. I think I've got pretty two concrete examples in this game between red and pink of pink map hacking. And so the first one we're going to analyze is that red is going to do a Dark Age rush. Okay? So we're going to fast forward to this Dark Age rush. Red Dark Age rushes with the samurai. So I want to look carefully. We can see the pink scout coming up here. Pink scout up here, scouting. Never picks the barracks up. Let's actually move to pink's camera because I'm very interested by this for a second. So you can see pink looking at the base and fog of war. So the samurai is out now. Okay, the samurai is out. There are villagers on this fish. So let's lock back in on his camera. We know the samurai is coming from the red base. He just looked at it in the fog of war. We know from this point that the scout has not scouted a Dark Age barracks at all. And he has not scouted the samurai coming. So if you're playing as pink right now, you've got no idea that there is a samurai on the way to attack you. Okay? He just moved. That's curious, isn't it? We're following his camera. There's a samurai right about here. Now, one could make the argument that he saw the deer move, and that's why he pulled his villagers. But there's a couple problems to that argument. One, we were following his camera there. He came back and immediately pulled these villagers. Is he really paying attention to the deer moving in Dark Age? If he hadn't scouted a Dark Age barracks, he would never expect units to be on the way here. He would just think a scout ran past the deer and the deer moved. Right? Like, you wouldn't pull 6 villagers away if you haven't scouted pressure. Okay, so let's see what he does. He sees the deer move. Now it's the first time he sees the samurai. First time he sees the samurai is a minute 57 seconds. So he sees the scout. He's watching. He is watching the scout and samurai right now. And he pulls the villagers again because the samurai is coming back. Still watching him. The biggest indicator of a hack like this is he's not using his scout. Pink's not using his scout at all. You see how Red is using his scout to see where the villagers are or not? And Pink's not doing that. Pink's scout is way out here getting sheep, dude. So he did see the samurai right there come through on the gold. So I should have followed this guy's scout more often. And see, you can't necessarily say, because I shift queue my scout up in the fog of war, that this guy's seeing sheep in the fog of war. But I bet if I went back and followed him from beginning to end, we would see him get a lot of sheep. He has 16 sheep right now. But that is itself is not conclusive evidence of a hack, right? He's still looking through here. Where's the samurai? I didn't even know that the samurai was right there at this point. I just know because he's looking in the fog of war right now. That's where the samurai is. Because I'm following his camera. Pulls villagers. He could actually see the samurai there, so that makes sense. But we know he was looking at the samurai when it was over here. So, again, you can have a general feeling without seeing things of where units might be, right? It's more the problem that he's looking in the fog of war to see those units. Like, if you were sitting here waiting on someone to pop up when you see them and then pull your villagers, like, that makes sense. Or, you know, if he ages up at 450... you know a knight's coming in 25 seconds, right? So let's see what he does with the knight. And let's unfree camera for a second. What's he scouted on Red's base? Basically nothing. He scouted the gold. You know, again, you can rally out units to static resources and assume that villagers are going to be there, right? He doesn't have to have a scout for this. But I do want to follow his camera here a bit. Our red player's, you know, pretty late to feudal here. So let's watch some raiding here. There's one example at the end that I specifically want to talk about. He does use the scout now. That's the first time I've actually seen him use the scout on the enemy base like that for a raid. So he goes pro scouts. Pretty normal play. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, things look pretty normal here now. It's a pretty normal game. Why is that still... There we go. So he can see the units by the mill, so nothing crazy about that. He knows the units are coming for the base right now, right? He's probably shift queuing up deer there for survival techniques. That's not sketchy. That was a little questionable just because he had no scout. He has no scout with the army, like, ever. That's one of the questionable parts, right? Just frees up his scout to do pro scout, so... That's another really good example. I moved through that. He's got knights over there attacking the wall. And so, again, it's not conclusive evidence. He just happens to pull all the knights back without a scout. He can't see the army, and the army was about to try to encircle. So, he also could have pulled the knights back just because there were 2 palisades going up, right? So that's not, like, conclusive evidence of anything happening there. So we're going to see a bit of siege here. And I'm going to switch off camera to free camera. And the second example I'm going to fast forward to and I want to look at is Red's going to mass up horsemen back here and go for a counter raid. So right now it's just turtling, you know, defending turtling. You can't really say one way or the other, like he sees villagers walling or he sees villagers doing this, because he knows Red's in the base here, right? So there's not a whole lot of ground he's got to cover. He can do that without scouts. Again, you know, he moves up here, gets the villagers, but you can do that without, you know, hacking or hacking the map. That's nothing too crazy. Again, just a little weird. He, you know, never has a scout with the army. That's questionable. So we actually do see 2 villagers move up here. Let's Yep. 2 villagers moved up here. He had no scout, no way to see him. He pulls 1 knight off to kill him. And the reason I would actually say this one's map hacking, there's a hole in the wall right here. They can literally just go in. But he goes to pick off these villagers that he didn't scout. So, again, that's not conclusive, but that one's a bit sketchy. Okay. It's not like Red's out of wood. Red's got wood here, so he's not going to be out on the wood here. He's got gold, so... If he was going to be on the gold, it'd be right here. You can walk through, hit the villagers. But as soon as these 2 villagers moved out, he spots it, no scouting, sends a knight to take care of it. I want to make sure I'm not missing the horseman here. So, pulls more villagers to build wall. You know, you could say he's just got the archers sitting there. I mean, that makes sense. You don't want him to re-wall, so you're kind of ready to stop that re-wall. I wouldn't say that's fishy. Let's see how close we are to the... Okay, here... Nope, those are just villagers. Oh, the horsemen are moving, so... We've got Pink's vision right now. Okay? This is Pink's vision. We're going to slow this down. Pink has no vision on this left side of the map. Zero. Zero vision here. Okay? And what we're going to see is these horsemen are going to leave the base. So again, you can see the horsemen on the mini-map. It's giving me bad vision. You can't actually see that. There we go. It updated. So he cannot see the horsemen. And let's see what he does here. Again, you can see on his mini-map, you cannot see red horsemen. Red horsemen going for a counter raid down the left side of the mini-map. What does he do? No scouting. Pulls knights. I'm not even kidding. He pulls knights. Where do you think the horsemen are? And look at his vision. You really think that's legit? There's no deer, nothing over here. No scouts, no towers, no units, no deer to get rustled that would ever give you an indicator that there were units. Now you could say, oh, he's just sending knights out for a raid, dude. He's going to check the gold, going to circle around attack. I'm cool with that. Like, that's possible. But how does he know so perfectly where the horsemen are, is the problem. Look, he's following them. That's wild. Let's go off free camera again. And where are these red horsemen? All the way back here? So he's moving to cut them off. That's what he's doing. So he saw the first horseman there, then triggers charge. So he ran knights from all the way over here without vision to track these horsemen all the way down here. So that's, I think the Dark Age Samurai, and then that is the best example of a map hack. Because there's a lot of things you can say are a map hack that really aren't a map hack. Like, there's too much coincidence. Players can do things in the fog of war. It's when players find very specific things like that, and they have no indicator, no scouting, no towers, no villagers there. There's no deer to disturb. Like, there's no reason they would ever suspect, but they track that well. Right? And that, in my mind, again, I can be wrong. Pink, you know, won this matchup pretty easily. It was a really lopsided game. Pink could not be a map hacker. Pink could just be like a good player. He's got a sixth sense, you know. But when I look at it, I see that as map hacking, and I think, you know, that's just something I'm trying to point out. And I think this would be an interesting episode for people to watch and think about, you know. If you guys have any comments on this, I'd be happy to hear about them. If you think it's not map hacking, you think Pink's just, you know, kicking butt in this video, or if you think it's map hacking, or what your thoughts are. And if you guys, you know, I'm going to put an offer out there. If you guys want me to look at any replays to see if somebody's map hacking, I'm down to do that. I think that would be a pretty fun series, actually. If people want to, you know, if you play a game and it seems like someone's map hacking and you have some specific examples you want me to take a look at, yeah, I'd be really interested in looking at that. That would be a fun kind of series to do of, is this guy map hacking? But if you enjoyed the video, just drop a like. You know, if you watched this video and you thought it was informative and you're not already subscribed, would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.